Hi, my name is David Mueller, team leader of DMA Real Estate and also principal broker for Real Broker here in the state of Michigan. And I wanted to welcome you to episode 2 of Ask the Broker. And what we're doing in this segment of Ask the Broker is we're taking questions that have been emailed to us or texted to us regarding real estate or Real Broker and answering those for you in this segment. The first question today comes from Carol in Kalamazoo, and she says, Dave, I've been thinking about joining a real estate company, and I talked with Keller Williams, and I'm also interested in Real Broker. What is the difference between profit share and revenue share? Profit share is something that Keller Williams gives its agent, and revenue share is something that Real Broker does. So Carol, I'd love to answer that question for you. I was with Keller Williams for 17 years, so can kind of answer that pretty succinctly. So with profit share at Keller Williams, so two things have to happen in order for profit to be shared with the realtors or the people within the office. So the first thing is the market center has to be profitable. So if the market center is not profitable, and you introduce an agent to Keller Williams and they're knocking it out of the park, but the market center is not profitable, there's not going to be any profit share. The second part would be is that the person or the realtor that you introduce to the company has to be, obviously has to produce some compensation and income toward the profit share of the market center. So if you introduce someone to the market center, they contribute toward the profit, and the market center pulls a profit, then they will share, basically I think it's 48% of what any profit will be shared amongst the agents that contributed. So a whole lot of things have to happen for there to be profit share. And then the other big aspect of that as well is the fact that I think Gary Keller himself said, back when he first started his profit share, he thought about doing revenue share, and he basically said, revenue share is not sustainable in our model. And I agree with Gary Keller 100%. And the reason for that is the fact that every market center, you have brick and mortar expenses, you have all the administrative staff of that market center, you have all the regional staff, you have all the state staff, you have all the national staff, then you have all the international staff. So they're all writing off all these expenses, so whatever's left at the end of the day, at the end of the month, is shared amongst the agents. So contrast that with revenue share. And revenue share at Real Broker is pretty simple. If you introduce somebody to the markets, to Real Broker, and they do a transaction, you are going to get, again, 5%, up to 5%, revenue share up to $4,000 in your first tier, and there's no hoops that you have to jump through. If you're the person you introduce to Real Broker produces revenue, you're going to see revenue share. And again, it's going to go 5 layers deep. I can tell you that that it works. It works very well. I've been now at the company since October of 2021. And have seen it in action, and my revenue share checks are considerably larger than what the profit share checks was what I was getting over at Keller Williams. And again, Keller Williams is a phenomenal company. It's a great company. Obviously, I was there for 17 years. But again, I felt that Real Broker was a much better opportunity for multiple streams of income, and it is the real estate brokerage of the future. So thanks again, Carol, for that question. And I hope I was able to answer it succinctly for you. Question number 2 for Ask the Broker. Should I get a pre-home inspection? And this comes from Bob over in Detroit. So should I get a pre-home inspection before I put my home up for sale? I am not a proponent of getting a pre-home inspection prior to putting your house on the market. And the reason for that is if you go through and hire a professional home inspector to come through, everything he puts on that report, you may have liability as far as you have to disclose anything that comes up on that report, because now you know of a quote-unquote deficiency or something that's wrong with the house. And so when you fill out your seller's disclosure, statement, anything that came up on that report, it could be construed that you need to put that on your seller's disclosure statement. As opposed to, again, you don't do a pre-home inspection, the buyer makes an offer, they're going to do their home inspection, and if something comes up in the inspection, then you're going to negotiate that. But again, and a lot of times, again, you can have 5 different inspectors come out, and 5 different inspectors say one thing's an issue, one thing's not an issue, and it's not an exact science. So I would not do a pre-home inspection. I would not spend the money on that. And then just be aware that when the buyer does their inspection, you may be negotiating after the inspection. So thanks again for your question. And question number 3, are real estate commissions negotiable? So rule number 1 that I've always lived by is everything in life is negotiable, but 100% real estate commissions are negotiable. But just be aware that sometimes you get what you pay for. And so if you're looking to get the cheapest realtor in town, there's going to be many people that are going to negotiate and cut their commission because they do not believe in their value proposition as a real estate agent. So if you're going to be choosing an agent based on how low their commission is, just be aware you're probably not going to be getting the best agent out there. As a common thing that I've heard, a common thread is, again, it costs pretty much the same to get a good agent as it does a bad agent. So why would you want to get an agent that's not as good as what they do? And the other part about negotiations of commissions is if the buyer or the agent that you're going to hire is willing to negotiate their commission down to whatever percentage, how well is he going to negotiate for your sale when it comes to negotiating your sale? If he's willing to negotiate his commission down, is that the person that you want negotiating your $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 house? And then if they're negotiating their commission, what types of things are they going to be taking out of their marketing plan, or are they doing absolutely no marketing? When I go over my value proposition or my marketing plan with a client, there is a lot of money being spent on professional photography, aerial photos, virtual tours, 3D tours, internet advertising, YouTube, Zillow, Realtor.com. We spend $15,000 a month on Zillow and Realtor.com to get premium placement for our listings. Is this agent doing those types of things? And if they're doing all those things and they're willing to reduce their commission, then that's one thing. But if they're willing to reduce their commission and they're not going to do anything to market your home, you're probably going to sell your home for less money. So yes, real estate commissions are negotiable, but just be very cautious about hiring the cheapest realtor out there. You also want to get a very good realtor, because a good realtor will gain back all that money that you think you negotiated in the commission. Number 4, what are the home improvements that will get the largest return on my investment? So basically what Audrey is asking is, what types of things can I do to improve my house that will get my biggest return on investment? So the first one is going to be anything that's decor oriented or decor related, like paint and carpet. Those are going to be things that you're going to get 200 to 300% returns. Changing out flooring, changing out carpet. If walls are marred up, go through and paint it. And a lot of times I'll get people that will say, well, I'd rather just give the buyer a credit to paint and carpet rather than do the improvement. And I don't agree with that, because you're going to pay for that improvement one way or another. And when a buyer says what it's going to cost to paint the house or do carpet, this is the cost that they're going to come up with. The cost in reality is going to be this. And if you go through and do the improvement yourself, you're going to pay that price, and then you're also going to get the psychological value of the improvement as well. So I would definitely go through and do that. But paint and decor are the 2 best that you can do as far as return on your investment. The next one would be anything that you do to your kitchen. So if you want to put up a tile backsplash, replace out laminate with corian or granite. If you have cabinets that are old, you may want to just redo the fronts, or you may want to just reface them. But anything you do in the kitchen is going to be almost 100% return on the investment. You want to make sure you don't overdo it and over improve. But again, kitchen is going to be a big place to put money into. The next one would be any bathrooms. Bathrooms would be very similar to kitchens, going through and changing out countertops. If you have a single, like a one-piece surround, and you have a tile person that you know that can do something for pretty cheap, take out the surround, tile the floor, change out the vanity, change out the toilet, and you're going to get a large return on your investment on that. And then one of the big ones that's coming up now is garage doors, and especially houses that are front facing. The garage door is going to be one of the first things you see, and it's the old, you never get a second chance to make a first impression, and the garage doors can make a huge improvement in both curb appeal and also just the overall aesthetics of the house. Along with garage doors, I would also say landscaping, the front door, keeping the grass cut, all these types of things. Anything that's going to be a first impression for the buyer, invest money into those, because again, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. So I want to thank everybody that sent in their questions to our Ask the Broker segment. If you would like to ask a question of myself, please leave a question here at the bottom, or leave a comment with a question, or you can also go to our website, www.realdma.com, and ask any questions, and we would be happy to answer those questions on a future episode of Ask the Broker. Thanks again for stopping by. Have a great day, and hope to see you on the next episode.